Case, the Serpico case. You might be too young to know the movie Serpico with Al
Yeah, I don't know.
Pacino. It's about a New York City undercover cop. He gets shot at the end of the movie and retires from the police force. And he was a real man, Frank Serpico. A woman after the movie, after this was made, decided she wanted to become a single mother and tricked him into fathering a child. And the court accepted that because she told her friends she was going to trick him, and they testified, and the court said, yes, you were tricked into it, and still awarded her over 90% of his police pension. So everything that he goes through in this movie to including getting shot to earn his pension, she won by sleeping with him one night. My son's mom wanted to have children with me, and I had always refused, saying, you have this anger problem, you need to get counseling. I'm not going to consider having children with you until that's dealt with, because she would lose her temper almost every day and just use any weapon she could, and like a child's the perfect weapon. So I was really definite about that. But she also used to proofread my articles for me. And I wrote an article for Playboy about Serpico. And when she read that, she told her friend she's going to trick me into fathering the child. She doesn't need my permission. And so that's how my son was conceived. Then she said, if you want to see your son, you have to stay in a relationship with me. But if you break up with me, I know all the things that a woman can do to a man. She's read all my articles. She saw my talk shows. She said, I know all the things a woman can do to a man, and I'll do them to you. So that's what I had to deal with. Like everything that I had been raising awareness about for the previous 17 years, then she combined into one thing for me to live through. It's really ironic. For the first 5 to 7 years, I guess, we would see each other 4 times a day for exchanges. On average, every single day, I had to deal with some scene. A scene meaning she would just not show up, or she would hold the kid out and then pull him back and hold him out and pull him and just kind of play with me, or she'd let me have the kid and then she'd stand in front of the car so I couldn't move. You stay in Mommy Town tomorrow. You stay in Mommy Town for a couple of days. 2 days, and then you come back to Daddyville. Another time I saw her hold him by the shoulders and say, Daddy is a bad man. Daddy is a very bad man. And so I had to go through this long custody battle, and the decisions that they would make, you would just go, how? There couldn't be any explanation. Either they're absolute idiots or it's biased. There's just no other explanation for it. One other thing, his mom is obese and wanted him to be obese for various reasons. One thing is so he would identify more with her side of the family than mine, because we're all thin. Another was so that he would enjoy being with her more, because when he was at my house, he had to get activity, and eat well-balanced meals and get his sleep and stuff. And at her house, they would bake brownies and stay up late and just watch TV. And so where would you, if you're a little kid, where would you enjoy being more? But he self-reported to the mediator how upset he was about being obese, that the worst thing in school was when kids called him fatty, and how he cried. And his physician said that he's really concerned medically. And then what I did, he was at an age where he would imitate things that I would do. I gave him a broken shaver, so when I shaved, he would pretend to shave. And what I did was I started weighing myself every morning and writing down my weight, the date and the weight. And I taught him how to read a scale. So he kept his own records. So I had 6 months worth of statistics to show consistently that every time he was with his mom for a few days, he'd come back weighing 3 or 4 pounds more, and then he'd lose it while he was with me. So they had, that how much he was upset about the problem. They had his physician being upset about the problem, and they had the proof of where the problem lay. So the judge's decision was that father should no longer be allowed to weigh the child. Problem solved. After 14 years, my body gave out. I got sicker than I've ever been. I realized I'm going to die. That's not going to do anybody good. I've got to give up the fight. So I gave up custody. And so I don't see my son anymore. He hasn't been in my house since.
So
So I
sorry.
did lose him. Just like a dream. You're like a guiding light shining in the night.
Fred claims that during his 14-year custody battle, he spent the equivalent of 5 years of his gross income on legal fees, mediators, and child support payments.
I was really in his life a lot longer than most fathers would have been. It's something most fathers can't afford. You are so